Purushottama. So we will read Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, which is entitled Purushottam Yoga. Ataha Panchodasha Adhyayaha Purushottam Yoga, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvamulam Adhashakham Ashvatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Saveda Ved. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. Athaschodhavam prasritastasya shakha guna pravriddha vishaya pravala adhascha mulani anusantatani karmanubandhini manushya-loke. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. Okay, Umesh Prabhu, you can read the next two. Then Nandini Mataji can read, then Sudhir Prabhu, then Kirti Mataji, and then Vijay Mataji. So let's start.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Na rupamasyeha kathopalabhyate namto na chartinam cha samutrishta ashvastamenam suvirudhamulam asangashastrena dridena chitva tatam padam tat parimargivatyam yasmin gatana nivartimtya bhuya tameva chatyam purusham prapadya yata pravrutti prasuta purani. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with the determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that Supreme Personality of the Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since this immemorial. Nirmana moha jiti sankadosha adhyatma nitya vinirutta kama hriday vimukta sukadukha sanghe gachanti amudha padama avyayam tata. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with the material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person's attempt to that eternal kingdom. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, Nandini Mataji, you want to read?
Na tad bhashayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tat dhama paramam mama. That supreme abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this world, this material world. Mamaivamsho jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana manashashyani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Text number 7.
Text number 8, Prabhuji.
Sariram yad avapnoti yad chapya uttara utkrama disvara Gridvanti Samyati Vayorgandhan Ivasyat. Translation: the living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another. As the air carries aromas, thus he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Srotram chakshush sparshanam cha rasanam grahanam eva cha adhisthaya manasa chayam vishwan upasvate. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped by the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, you have to remember your turn. Kirti
Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, and then
Yes.
Vijay Mataji, and then Vipul Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Text 10. Utkramantam stitam vapi bhunjan va gunanvitam vimudhananupashyanti pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in the knowledge can see all this. Text 11. Yatanto yoginashchainya pashyanya atman avastitam yatantopya nainam pashyatya chetasaha. The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly, but those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yadadityagatam tejo jagadbhashyate akhilam yatchandramasi yagno tatejo vidhi mamakam. The splendor of the sun which dissipates the darkness of this whole world comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. Gamavisya cha bhutani dharyamahmojasha pushnami chausadihi sarvaha somo bhutvarasatmakaha. I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 14. Aham Vashya Naro Bhutta Praninang Devamasrito Prana Pano Samojukto Paschamanang Chaturbidam. Translation: I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the four kinds of foodstuff. Text 15. Sarvasya Changridi Shannibisto Matra Siddhi Ganamo Apanancho Vedasya Sarvarama Vedo Banto Krido Vedo Videvo Chaham. Translation: I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Hare Krishna.
Sulas Prabhu, you want to read?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, everyone. Text
16.
Dvavimau Purushau Loke Sharaschakshara Evacha Shara Sarvani Bhutani Kutosto Kshara Uchyate There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible. And in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. 15:17. Uttama purushastva anya paramatmeti udahrita yo lokatrayam avishya bibharti avyaya ishvara. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them.
Thank you. Someone who has not read and would like to read? Anyone? Any husbands, wives? Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Hare Krishna. It's
Nikunj.
reading. यस्माक्षरम् अतितोऽहम् अक्षरात् अपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके लोके वेदे च प्रतिता पुरुषोत्तमः. Because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person.
19. Nikunj.
यो मामेवम् असम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in the full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata.
Thank you. Anyone else who has not read and would like to read? iPhone, is it Rakesh Prabhu? You want to read? Who's on iPhone? Okay, in the interest of time, I'll complete this. Iti guya tamam shastram idam uktam maya nagha etad buddhva buddhimam syat krita krityascha bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Om Tat Sat Śrīmad-Bhāgavad-Gītāšu Upanishadšu Brahma Vidyāyam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Purushottama Yoga Nama Panchodasha Adhyayaha. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta translation to the 15th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the yoga of the Supreme Person. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for so nicely reading and participating in this Bhagavad Gita reading of 15th chapter in the month of Purushottam Mas, which is very, very special and recommended to perform this reading every day. So now it's almost 8 p.m. We will start our reading of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my humble obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Govardhanam dharam vande gopala goparupinam gokula utsavameshanam govindam gopika priyam Vande Navaghana Shyama Dvibhujam Muralidharam Pitambaradharam Devam Sharadam Purushottamam. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you again for joining in this reading of Granth Raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in the holy month of Purushottama. And we were reading Canto 7, Chapter 15, entitled The Instructions for the Civilized Human Beings. So Narad Muni is speaking the instructions for civilized human beings. And we read till text number 47 yesterday. So we were discussing about the taking shelter of bona fide spiritual master, very, very important point. And then we were also discussing about the analogy for the body and the chariot example. In the last couple of verses, we were discussing that. And then the pravrittim and the nivrittim, that's what we read in the last verse, the introduction to pravritti and nivritti. So the following verses explain about it in more detail. So let's study text number 48. Himshram dravyammayam kamyam agnihotradi ashantidam darshascha purnamasascha chaturmasyam pashu sutaha etad ishtam pravrittakhyam hutam prahutam evacha urtam surlaya rama kupajivyadi lakshanam. Translation and purport. There is no purport. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices known as Agnihotra Yagya, Darsha Yagya, Purna Masa Yagya, Chaturmasa Yagya, Pashu Yagya, Soma Yagya, all are symptomized by killing of animals and burning of many valuables, especially food grains, all for the fulfillment of material desires and the creation of anxiety. Performing such sacrifices, worshipping Veshwadeva, and performing the ceremony of Baliharana, which all supposedly constitute the goal of life, as well as constructing temples for demigods, building resting houses and gardens, digging wells for the distribution of water, establishing booths for the distribution of food, and performing activities for public welfare. They are all symptomized by attachment to material desires. So the following verses from 48 to 51 talk about the pravritti marga. What is the definition of pravritti marga? We discussed yesterday is elevation. Elevation not in spiritual life but in material life. To enjoy more. Like, why do people come to America? It's also kind of one way pravritti marg to elevate to a higher standard. Then Americans, they feel, okay, I'm the most happy if I get this. But there is also struggle here. Similarly, one feels, okay, in demigod planets, there is a lot of, somrases, Nandakanan gardens, Apsaras, Gandharvas, etc., etc. I'll be happy there. This world is full of misery, but I'll be happy there. So what do? They do different types of yajna, as mentioned here. Darsha yajna, Purnamasa, Chaturmasa, etc. Multiple yajnas. In the classic example, also we discussed when we were reading the story of Puranjana. It is mentioned that in that story, we read that the whole earth's surface was covered by kusha grass, because one of the main elements of yajna is kusha grass. He had covered the whole earth full of kusha grass. Basically, at every place, I was recently hearing Radhesham Prabhu's wonderful class about this. The whole earth he had covered with performing some different kinds of yajnas, all pravritti, all karma kanda. To do this, get this. Do this, get this. And some animal sacrifice, use in yajna, a lot of precious things go, the grains, the pure ghee, etc. It needs a lot of arrangements. It's not a small thing. So that's about yajna. Then the next half of the verse talks about the mode of goodness activities. Now one may say, hey, what's wrong in building, resting homes, gardens, wells, etc., distribute water, distribute food, etc. So these activities are in mode of goodness. So mode of goodness is not wrong, but if the intent behind mode of goodness is Atmendra Priti Vansha, Tare bole kham, Krishnera Priti Ichha Dhare Premana. So in the mode of goodness, one time this famous example, you see the fan above me. So one time a mother and a child went to, they went to a like dharmshala, like kind of a donated place in India, dharmshala where people, visitors come and stay. So the husband, the family was in the room of one of the dharmshala in like kind of a motel. And then it was hot. So when the husband came from outside and they asked, well, why is the fan not working? What happened? The fan is not working. Why you didn't turn on the fan? And the mother says, well, I was showing our child that my great grandfather had donated this fan. So I was showing the name, because if the fan is moving, you can't see the name. In India, you may have seen some fan would have named, this fan is donated by Mr. RK, so and so. This well is donated by so and so, and they want a big plaque written that, oh, I am the donator. If I would have not given, these people would have been hungry, or these people would have been starving. So they're all symptomized by attachment to material desires, the desire to get more recognition. I am running the show. I am feeding this whole village. I am the one who provides the clothes. I'm the one who built this whole school. So those activities are not wrong. But when the same act is done in a sense of devotion, in a sense of Krishna consciousness, that Krishna has given me, so I must use the gifts given by the Lord for his service, not to get recognition, but to purify myself. So instead of distributing food, which is good for body, we distribute prasadam, which is not just food good for body, but it's also good for the spirit soul. So the same activity can become transcendental if the intent behind is different. If the intent behind is seva, not material desires. But pravritti marg, the intent is material desire. So that's what we were talking about in this particular verses. So not a very healthy idea, because what happens next? We discussed in the previous verses. Okay, one comes back. One may go to heavens, one may become Indra. What next? After some time, Shina, Punya, Mrityu, Loka, Vishanti. So, not a very good idea. You want eternal happiness. Yad gatva na nivartante. We just read. Having attained once, there is no returning back. Any comments, questions anyone has? Okay. iPhone, Prabhuji, you want to say something?
Oh, no, actually. How to, yeah, I understand, but how to improve, Prabhu? Sometimes, if you don't have something, if you do service, I think that, yeah, it's all because of Krishna, but it's not up to the mark, and it's not always. How to improve this one? Because I don't know how to ask also. Yeah, we think I'm doing because I am capable of doing this one, so I can do this, that. But always I don't think that, Krishna is giving me, I'm giving only few times, sometimes when we think. So how to improve all these things?
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. If I understood your question correctly, I'll repeat the question. So You can give me the feedback if I understood the question correctly or not. So I guess your question is that, yes, the idea is good that Krishna is the ultimate doer and we are just a via medium. But sometimes I feel like, no, I'm doing something. And sometimes I feel, yes, Krishna is helping me to do, I'm just a puppet, but sometimes I do feel like that I'm the doer. So how to improve that situation? So I always feel that. Is that correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. So we have to, firstly, there are multiple ways this question can be looked at. I'll tell you a story of a donkey, and there was a donkey, and donkeys are supposed to lift weights like bricks and mortar, cement, etc. So there was a donkey who was given contract that he has to bring, and every day what he was carrying bricks, mortar, and cement, etc. So at the end, he would get some carrots. That was his motivation. And all the time he would get beating by his master. But one day, someone gave him a contract. Bankim Prabhu had to install Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Marani, and they had to be brought from Kumar Prabhu's home to Bankim Prabhu's home. So the contract was given to the donkey. And the donkey owner said, yeah, we will move the deities. Why not? Okay. And now the deities are on top of the donkey. Now, in the middle, Vaswati Mataji gets to know, well, Lord Jagannath is going to pass and from my home. So let me do my best. That's basically Rath Yatra. So she made garlands for the deities, and she made some flower decorations and some bhoga offering, etc., and did some arti, incense, etc. And wow, and even the donkey got a garland because he was carrying. So first the garlands were put on the deities, and the arti was done, and the bhoga was done, and the donkey ate nice prasadam as well. And the donkey was very happy. And then he moved further. And then came the home of Rakesh Prabhu. And then Rakesh Prabhu said, wow, Jagannath ji is coming. Let me do something. So he also gathered his friends and they welcomed Jagannath. The donkey also got the reception. Today he was not getting beating because he was getting a lot of good treatment. And then finally, Bankim Prabhu's home came and he also gave a very grand reception. And the donkey also got a grand reception. So we have to always remember that whatever service we are doing, we are like the donkey. I'm like that donkey. If Krishna is empowering me, it's Krishna on my back. Sometimes people may say, thank you, Prabhuji, you do so much service. You gave so much donation. You did so much service, or you cooked so nice prasad. If we always have that consciousness that I am not doing anything, it's Guru Parampara. It's only by the mercy of Guru. Mukam karoti vachalam. Pangum langete grim. A lame person can walk. It can cross, not just walk, cross over the mountains. So I have nothing to be called as mine. Whether it is material wealth, whether it is the assets, whether it is the speaking skill, whether it is the walking skill or cooking skill, it's all given by Krishna. So we have to remember, again, easier said than done. You're absolutely correct. The conditioned mind, like myself, will sometimes think, no, I am doing it. I am doing it. The moment we think like that, Krishna will, if you are sincere, Krishna will teach us a lesson. And Arjuna, a famous story comes, so I think you got the donkey story. So when Lord Jagannath, Lord Baladev, we read, Gaur Nithai, Jagannath and Baladev, Guru and Gauranga are not present. He was all getting sticks. So without the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, we'll get sticks only by the Maya. But we may get some appreciation, some recognition. We should not hanker for it, but we may get it. But it's all, we should pass it on. It is all belongs to Guru and Gauranga, Lord Jagannath, Lord Baladev. It's not mine. If we try to keep it or hanker for it, then it's a problem. Then we will not be happy. The more we hanker for, the more we expect, the more we want name, fame, recognition, the more we will suffer. So we have to theoretically at least keep these stories, keep these pastimes in mind. So whenever that craving comes, well, I didn't get recognition. The other person did less. He got more respect. Why is Prabhuji so partial to me? To me, he's not giving me respect. He's giving more respect. I did more service. So that's a donkey story. Another story I wanted to share. So the idea is basically, yes, Arjuna's story. Arjuna defeated such the mighty Kauravas. It was not a 1-to-1 match. It was 1-to-1 million. Pandavas were like one, and the Kauravas and the parties were like million. There was no like equal fighting. But when Kṛṣṇa was there, they could easily conquer. And there are multiple episodes. And finally, when Kṛṣṇa was not there, Arjuna was easily defeated by the cowherd boys while he was trying to, bring the queens of Kṛṣṇa. So it's all by the arrangement of the Lord. It's not by my strength or my ability to speak or my cooking or whatever I am proud of or my wealth or my anything. It's all Krishna's arrangements. But if I claim it as mine, then I am a thief. Does that help? I'm just speaking for myself because it's a good question.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Any other comments?
So Prabhuji, Arjuna was a devotee, and he was a devotee all through, and Krishna gave the Gita to us from Arjuna. So after Krishna left, Arjuna still is a devotee, right? So he did not change himself. So how come a devotee all of a sudden become powerless? Krishna always remains with a devotee, right?
That's true. But Krishna wanted to teach a lesson. And there's a very nice verse, which I don't remember at this point, but that's what Arjuna's realization was. That in the army, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, I was an instrument to defeat hundreds and millions of Kauravas. And now it is the same Gandiva, it is the same Arjuna, it's the same chariot, everything is same. What is different? Krishna is not present with me. It is actually spoken by, it is the realization of a devotee that yes, I from your perspective, you are correct that Krishna always in the heart of a devotee. But of course, Lord does multiple pastimes to teach multiple lessons. So Arjuna was reflecting that, he's gone. He's gone from the physical the presence, like how the Rajavasis are feeling the love in separation. So although, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Krishna never needs the hearts of his devotees, but still there is that separation is there.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Anything else before we move on? Let's read the next two verses. Text 50, 51. I see Kumar Prabhu has joined. Thank you, Prabhu. Would you like to read text 50 and 51?
Oh, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Prabhuji, I'm outside, but I just want to make a quick comment on what he just said. Sure. Completely true. So, Prabhuji, one of the things is Krishna likes to play pastimes all the time. And one of the games he really loves is hide and seek. So he appears and disappears. And that is how we grow. Just like the sun, during daytime it comes, in the nighttime it goes away. And both have their value. It's not like there's only sun 24 hours a day. It's not a good idea because we need the nighttime and the moonlight for vegetables to grow and become juicy and everything. Just like that, Vipralamba, is part of the process, and Krishna going away from, or appearing to go away, which is the Leela, has a definite value. Otherwise, Krishna would not be doing it. So basically, ourselves becoming bewildered is part of the growth process, because then we understand that we cannot depend on ourselves, and we have to yield to Krishna. Just my 2 cents, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, back to you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Very nice reflections. Anyone who has not read throughout this week, this is the time to raise your hand. Anurag, Prabhu, would you like to read? Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, actually, I don't have the text with me. I just joined it.
If I share the screen, would you be able to read?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Dravya. Okay. Thanks. Dravya Sukshma Vipaksa Sa Dhomyo Ratriya Apakshya Ayanyam Dakshinat Somo Darsa Usadi Viruddha Anam Reta Iti Kamsya Pitrayanam Punar Bhavya Ikashyan Purvam Bhuta Bhuveta Jayate. So, okay. My dear King Yudhishthira, when oblations of ghee and food grains like barley and sesame are offered in the sacrifice, they turn into celestial smokes, which carries one to successively high planetary systems like the kingdoms of Dhuma, Ratri, Krishna Paksha, Dakshinam, and ultimately the moon. Then, however, the performers of sacrifice descend again to earth to become herbs, creepers, vegetables, and food grains. These are eaten by different living entities and turned to semen, which is injected into female bodies. Thus, one takes birth again and again. Um, so, when those who follow the Praviti Marga have enjoyed heavenly sense pleasure, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, through the Vedic principle, they achieve one flickering happiness. Following the Pravitri Marga, the living entity who desire to be promoted to the higher planetary system performs sacrifices regularly. And how he goes up and comes down again is described here in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as well as in Sri Bhagavad Gita. It is also said that Triguna Vaisya Vedya, the Vedas deal mainly with the three modes of material nature. The Vedas, especially the three Vedas, namely Sama, Yajur, and RK, vividly describe this process of ascending to the higher planets and returning. But Krishna advises Arjun, Triguna Visaya Veda, Nistrogunya Bhavya Arjuna. Once one has to transcend these three modes of material nature, and then one will be released from the cycle of birth and death. Otherwise, although one may be promoted to a higher planetary system such as Chandraloka, one must again come down. That is, after one's enjoyment due to pious activity is finished, one must return to this planet in rainfall and first take birth as a plant or a creeper, which is eaten by various animals, including human beings, and turned to semen. This semen is injected into female body, and thus the living entity takes birth. Those who return to earth in this way take birth, especially in higher families like those of Brahmanas. It may be remarked in this connection that even the modern so-called scientists who are going to the moon are not able to stay there, but are returning to their laboratories. Therefore, whether one goes to the moon or by modern mechanical arrangements or by performing pious activities, one must return to earth. That is clearly stated in this verse and explained in Bhagavad Gita. Even if one goes to the higher planetary systems, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan, one's place there is not secure. One must return to Mrityaloka. Abraham Vanal Loka Punar Avrittino Arjuna. Aside from the moon, even if one goes to Brahmaloka, one must return. Yama prapya na nivrate tad dhamma paramaha mama. But it goes back home, back to the Godhead. He need not return to this material world. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. For those who don't know, Anurag Prabhu, can you show your face if you don't mind? Your lotus face, if you're in a position to. I want to introduce you to most of the members here are from the Tampa community. So Anurag Prabhu recently moved to, I would say, Tampa area. He's not exactly in Tampa, but about 40 minutes north of Tampa. So he just recently moved a couple of weeks back. Messaged us on Facebook, and now he's part of the community. So welcome to the gang.
Thank you so much for introducing me, Prabhuji. I really appreciate it.
Yes, already chanting, already familiar with this con, and we are all there for you, and whatever way we can serve you, and so you can be comfortable in the new place, please let us know. All of these are like your brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, however you want to relate.
Thank you so much.
Most of the devotees present on the call are from the Tampa area. If you need
thank you
any
so
help,
much.
they are all very eager to help you. If you need nice prasadam, they all make nice prasadam as well.
Thank you so much.
So,
thank you so much.
thank you. So this verse also again talks about Pravritti Marga. Bhagavad Gita 9:21 is quoted here. Tetam bhukta swargalokam vishalam shine punya mrityu loka vishanti. Up and down, habu dubu bhai. Like a bubble, like, in this ocean, one is moving up and down, like in a building, going to the top floor, going to the down floor. But this building is full of fires. Sansara nalida loka. Even the top floor has misery because the cycle is mentioned. So what happens? Okay, when you do yagya, the grains, the barley and sesame, the smoke produced, takes one, okay, back home, back to Godhead. No, back to the different lokas, the upper planets, higher planetary systems. Bhu, Bhava, Swa, Maharjana, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, etc. Then what next? One will enjoy there for some time, little more enjoyment, little less suffering, which reduces the chances of bhakti. Therefore, we have read that how even the demigods are saying, I want to be born in the human species. Where? In the earthly planet systems. That's where we are all present. Even the demigods are craving to be born in this. Why? Because it has a healthy balance of joy and sorrow. So-called joy, so-called sorrow. When there is too much happiness in one's life. Therefore, Kunti Maharani says, Janma Eshwar, Shruta Shri Eda Mana Mada Puman, Neva Avahartya Vidhatum Vai Tuam Akinchana Gocharam. When there is high birth, high beauty, high knowledge, high wealth, everything high, then one remains high. One thinks I am God. One thinks I should have, I have hundreds of servants. I have, any car I want to buy, I can buy any home, any vacation. I can go anywhere. I'm God. And the world is supposed to serve me. One forgets. One is not able to. Of course, there are some exceptions. But in general, it's hard for someone with too much wealth, too much name, fame, recognition to take to Krishna consciousness. On the other side also, when there is too much suffering, and when one is thinking, will I get dinner tonight? Will I get a place to sleep tonight? The whole meditation in that mind would be, how will I get food tomorrow? Where will I sleep tomorrow? Where will I eat tomorrow? It's hard that way also. Will I live tomorrow? So in the material world, in the earthly planet system, even the demigods want to come. So pravritti marg again is not a very healthy idea, because then one comes back, becomes trees, creepers, then the humans eat it, and then through the medium of seven, it goes on to bodies, keeps changing bodies, punarapi janaram, punarapi maranam, punarapi jatare jatare shayanam, keeps moving in the cycle of 8.4 million species of life. So why do we waste this precious human form of life in the earthly planets in a right balance? Whoever is present here, is we are kind of, Krishna has put us in the middle. So we are very, very fortunate, as Lord Chaitanya says, Bharata Bhumite Janma Hoile, Janma Sarthak Kare Karo Paropkar. It's very great fortune to be born in the Bharata Bhumi. And earlier the whole world was said Bharata. What we have to do to purify ourselves, Janma Sarthak Kare Karo Paropkar, and also share this message, Para Upkar. First Apna Udhar, then Paropkar. So that's what we are trying to by reading Bhagavatam and sharing. Any comments, any questions anyone has? No? Yes? Maybe? Who all got chance to read chapter 14 again? Raise your hand. Oh, Mataji. Read. Anyone else? Did anyone else read? Lakshmi Mataji read. Oh, Mishra also read. Raise your hand if you read. Raghu Prabhu read. Very nice. So it's a very short quiz. So let's do a short quiz. And what you can do, most of you know what the process is, correct? So you have to, I'll be sharing my screen. So you would need two gadgets. One is pretty much, I guess you're seeing this in laptop or your iPad, iPhone, whatever you're using. And one other gadget, so the questions would come here. You have to go to the website using the other gadget, whether it's a phone, other laptop, whatever. Go to this website, kahoot.it. You don't need to download the app, it's not mandatory, but you can just go to the website and it'll ask you to enter a PIN. And then it'll ask you to put a name like Vamsi Vilas Das or whatever name you want to put, nickname. It'll be fun, it'll be interesting. Don't worry even if you have not read the chapter, you'll find it interesting, you'll like it. And it'll be a fun learning experience as well. So put your name, go to this website and enter this PIN. Do you hear the audio as well? Okay, is it too loud or is it nice? Okay. I'm just trying to make up from Vamsi Vilas Prabhu's lip movement. And for those who don't have a lot of background noises, can turn their microphones as well. It's interesting, it adds to the fun. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yukta Hara Viharasya Yukta Swapna Abodasya, that we should have Krishna conscious fun, and this is certainly one of the ways to have Krishna conscious fun. Along with learning, along with reading Bhagavad. Did not read. Okay, who's that? Anurag? Let's see if you can. There are only 7 questions. I think 6 or 7 questions. So it's a short one.
Uh-huh.
I was asking, did you put the name? Did not read?
No, actually, I didn't put any name at the present moment.
Okay. Yeah, please join in. Please join in, everyone. Please join in. You'll find it interesting and fun. I see still few are pending. So there are about 20 on the call and 13 have joined. We'll start in 1 minute. Oh, the number is reducing. I don't know how and why. Who knows that? Everyone at least knows the title of chapter 14? Who all know the title of chapter 14? Now don't, like Vipul Prabhu is trying to see the title.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
I just joined again. Interconnection lost. I lost the connection. How to play? Did you mention already?
Yeah, go. You need a second phone or like a laptop or some other gadget to go to this website kahoot.it and enter the game pin.
Kahoot. Okay. Where is the pin, Prabhu? Oh yeah, got it.
Pin is on my hair. Do you see?
7, 6, 8, 0.
Okay.
7.
Okay, now I'm going to start. So you have to answer correctly and quickly. That's the criteria.
Just 1 minute, Prabhuji. Just 1 minute.
Okay. Anyone still waiting? Let me know.
So on my screen, it is showing that some blank.
Yeah. So you are good. You're good. You see your name is there.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
we'll wait for Kashish Mataji and then we'll start. The title of chapter 14 is basically, Narad Muni is explaining how Grihasthas can attain the path of bhakti or path of liberation. That was a question asked by Yudhishthir Maharaj, and Narad Muni explains in chapter 14. Kashish Mataji, you are done? You joined? Okay, let's get started. Answer quickly and correctly. So now you'll see questions on my screen and you have to click answer on your phone or gadget, whatever you're using. Okay, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 7:14. Ideal family life. That's it. Okay, let's see. There are 7 questions. This is number 1. Okay, that's good. That I kind of introduced and gave the hint. Very nice. Everyone got this right. And there's a timer also going on the middle left side. You have to watch out for that also. You have to answer before the timer runs out. If you don't answer before that, then you don't get points. What should an ideal Grihastha do? What kind of things he should do or not do? Okay, so you have to read all the options. So some of you answered 2. The answer is yes, he should earn his livelihood as much as necessary, should associate with saintly persons, sadhu sangha, and hear the nectar of Lord Kṛṣṇa, should live in the human society, not be too much attached. So all of them were correct. Okay, number 3. The necessities of life are those produced. What are the necessities of life? Yes, all of the above. The sky, the atmosphere, all of them are producing things. Okay, number 4. A Grihastha should treat animals such as deer, camels, etc. like what? How should one treat? Like their mother, like their father, like their domestic animal, like their son, like their pet animals, like their servant, like their own son.
Timer up.
You have to answer before time. Time and tide wait for that. Yes.
The third and fourth options are not being seen.
Is it?
So is there any way that we can view all the 4 options?
Can everyone? Is it?
We are able to view it all.
We can see all of the options, Mataji.
We can see.
Minimize your
We can say, but we can skip because one's own son and mother is confusing.
This is Rakesh Prabhu's purport. So try to minimize your own screen, like, minimize your own screen. Yeah, changing here would not make a difference.
Control minus, maybe control minus will help, Prabhuji.
But others are able to see, so it's at her end. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji, I put it on portrait now, so it's in the phone, so now I'm able to answer.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So one has to treat everyone as their own son. Like how you embrace your son, you have to embrace camels, snakes, flies. Right, Rakesh?
Yeah, I got it.
Should we embrace snake? What does Biraj say? Biraj, tell. Vinayak, sorry. What do you think? If a father embraces his son, it says that should treat like his own son. So should we embrace camels, asses, snakes, and birds?
Yes,
what is it? Should we embrace them, like hug them?
Yes, Roji, I agree with that. They should treat animals like their own son.
But my question is that should we, like a father embraces, like your father or mother would embrace you sometimes. So it is said that, okay, can we embrace these animals? Snakes, camels? Not all of them. Good. We have to deal respectfully and not harm them. At the same time, care for them as using our best intelligence. Okay, let's see. Lakshmi Mataji, Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, wow, Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, Ramsilas Prabhu, Raghu Prabhu, Rama, wow, everyone is moving up. Nityananda is the highest climber. Let's see. We have 3 more questions. Rakesh Prabhu, you can still come up in the top. What should a Grihastha not engage in? Timer up. Economic development, Ugra Karma. Well, if you remember, the first thing was that economic development is fine. One should not be too attached to economic development and use the economic development in the service of the Lord. But at the same time, not be Ugra Karma. What is Ugra Karma? Rakesh Prabhu would like to tell something about Ugra Karma.
Means it's keep on, like if we do something, expect something, it's keep on going. It's a cycle, right? Maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Who would like to answer this? Lakshmi Mataji, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like a severe working, Prabhuji, we apart from our own limit, we put so much of work into it, and we get like over tension in the mind, and something like Ugra means apart from our comfort level, we put more work into it.
Like technology, working with technology.
Too much behind money.
Working too many hours.
Too many hours.
Or bad karma.
Bad karma. What else?
I can say animal killing for the satisfaction of the tongue. Maybe.
Animal killing. Okay.
Not favorable to Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
So like passion, Prabhuji? Passion activities?
Passion. Passion or fashion? Is it passion or fashion?
Passion, Prabhuji.
Passion. Yes. You should have passion ko kam karna, compassion.
Can be both.
Passion.
Compassion is very good, Prabhuji. Compassion.
Yes, there are, all of these are nice examples. Prabhupada specifically, I think, mentions like drilling is a typical example of ugra karma, destroying Mother Earth to exploit our senses. It's harmful. Too much drilling, and oil extraction, killing of innocent animals, exploitation, all these meat industries, all ugra karma, heavy chemicals, mines, extraction of minerals, and it's basically Mother Earth feels the pain of that torture. How would we feel if in our body someone is drilling holes? How would we feel? Spoiling the nature, killing the cows. All this is nonsense. Okay, let's see. Number 6. Lord resides within the being as Paramatma. He is known as Rakesh. Which one did you pick?
Achyuta.
Achyuta. What does Achyuta mean?
I don't know. In the song, I listen Achyutananda, right? That's why.
Yes. In chapter 15 also there is a word used similar to Achyuta. Who can tell in Bhagavad Gita?
Akshara.
Akshara. Shara, Akshara. Achyuta, infallible. That's Krishna, used for Krishna or his pure devotees, liberated souls. So that's Achyuta. That's not the right answer. Purusha Avatara. What category of Avatara does Purusha Avatara fall in? Raise your hand if you know this answer. Only Vamsilas Prabhu knows the answer.
What is the category?
Like there are multiple avatars like Manvantar avatar, Rupa avatar, Guna avatar, etc. Leela avatar. What category of avatara does Purusha avatara fall in? Yes, Prabir Prabhu, please tell.
Starts from Karnodakshay Vishnu Prabhu. Karnodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Shirodakshay Vishnu.
Yes. So what category of avatara is this called?
Kshirodakshay Vishnu.
Yes, these three. Shirodakshay Vishnu, Karnodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Shirodakshay Vishnu. Shirodakshay Vishnu is basically yes. These are called Purusha Avataras, actually. These are all Purusha Avataras. Okay, let's move on to the next. So Shirodakshay Vishnu is the Paramatma aspect, or the expansion of Shirodakshay Vishnu. Did I say it right, Rabir Prabhu?
I think Shirodakshay Vishnu is Prabhu's super soul.
Super soul, Paramatma.
Yes, Paramatma.
Okay. So sadhus have approved it, so it's correct. Last question. Do not take this material world so seriously because it's always changing. Or what you take seriously is getting something terrible today, tomorrow is going to change. Of all the persons are qualified, yogi must be accepted the best. No, yogi are different. Yogis are there. Some are bhogis, king, kshatriya. True Brahmana is the most respectable. Anyone like to give an example to substantiate this statement from Shastra? to prove this?
Because they are higher category, they follow whatever the scripture suggests, right? So,
okay, any example from Shastra where the Brahmana is given the highest respect?
They say that Krishna accepts the prasadam or the offerings from the mouth of Brahmanas. So they are considered to be the most highest. This is my understanding.
Nice, very nice. That's good. Anyone else would like to quote something or tell a short, like some example, any names?
Like Sudama was a Brahmana, right?
Sudama, yes, Krishna gave him
And he
his
washed
everything. Yes, very nice. Any other examples? Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur were born in a Malecha family, Muslim family, but Advaita Acharya gave him the topmost respect because he was a Vaishnava Brahmana. Okay, let's see the podium. Number 3 spot, Amchilas Prabhu. Haribo. Number 2, Mesh Prabhu. Number 1. Mataji. Kirti Mataji are at 4 and Kashish Mataji at 5.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you everyone for this wonderful, I hope it was fun, at the same time some learning experience.
what was the time limit you kept, Prabhu, for each question?
I think 20-30 seconds, I guess.
Okay.
Someone is helping me to design this. I don't get chance to review myself, so I'm sometimes reviewing it with you only. So yes, so thank you everyone for your time and regularly joining Bhagavatam calls, reading Bhagavad Gita. Tomorrow is weekend, and weekend means special mercy. So tomorrow His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu will be giving class on Chaurashtakam, the 8 verses to glorify thief. Okay, so we'll glorify thief tomorrow. So don't miss this glorification of this thief. Rakesh, guess who's that thief? Can you guess?
I missed it.
You missed it? Okay.
Prabhuji is physically here, Prabhuji, not mentally. Mentally in India.
Okay. So tomorrow, don't miss it. If you don't, it's a very special glorification about the best thief. So we'll discuss tomorrow. And of course, we'll read Bhagavad Gita at 8:40. And then on Sunday is Ekadashi. So I requested His Grace Prashant Mukund Prabhu to speak upon the glories of Ekadashi. So that day, we can hear about Ekadashi. He's a wonderful speaker as well. So don't miss, invite your friends, well-wishers, relatives, let everyone, the whole world join. And that's it. Any other closing comments, questions? Okay, everyone good, happy?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Rakesh Prabhu, for joining. I feel so happy when you join. I don't know why. I feel so happy.
Even I feel so happy. The joining itself is maybe difficult or something else, but once we join, it will go very smoothly, right?
Yeah.
Even for satsang also, like getting out of the house and taking to the car itself is little challenging. Once we come to the satsang, then everything will be smooth.
Wow. You're speaking so nicely. Shashika Prabhu exactly says that. So you're speaking Brahmavakya. You're speaking from what the self-realized souls are speaking. These are the words of Visheshika Prabhu actually. He says book distribution is not difficult. Difficult thing is to get in the car and go to Patel Brothers. Rest everything happens there. Right? Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
In Patel Brothers, not for grocery, for those who don't know the context, we distribute books at Patel Brothers.
So they call it as, Swami Karyam and Swakaryam. So we are doing Swami Seva and our Seva also.
Thank you. And just one humble request, please try to keep your videos on. This will make your experience and others' experience of learning and reading Bhagavatam more joyful and more personal. And I understand there could be a few days you are not in a position to share video, but if that few days is every day, then it's not right. If it's once or twice a week, I understand. But on regular days, most days, please try to share. If there are 1 or 2 days, I understand. But generally, only like 3-4 videos are on, and 70% videos are off. So please try. Even if you have kids around, it's fine. Even if you are, you don't need to be dressed perfectly or dhoti kurta. It's fine. Whatever, even if you're in casual clothes, it's fine. The idea is not the dress, or the idea is more personal experience. So just a humble request. So we will pause here. Swati Mataji wants to say something.
No,
Okay. Thank you. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.